Hello, and this is Miss Yetter, and we are reading The Worst Class Trip Ever by Dave Barry. We are on chapter 10 on page 98. So open your books and turn to page 98, chapter 10, and we shall begin. We made it back to the Smithsonian just in time and slipped in with the rest of the group in the gift shop. From there, we went outside to a park, and the teachers gave us box lunches containing sandwiches made from some meat that nobody could definitely identify. Although one kid who moved to Miami from West Virginia swore, and I don't think he was kidding, that it was a squirrel. I gave mine to Cameron, even if it had real food. I couldn't have eaten it. My stomach was a mess. We sat on the grass a little ways from everybody else. Me, Cameron, Victor, and Susanna. At this point, just about everybody had noticed that Susanna was hanging out with the losers instead of the hot populars, but she didn't seem to care. Okay, she said, we need a plan. I said, I'm still thinking maybe we should call the police. Really, she said. You saw what they text. If we go to the police, we don't see Matt again. You think they were kidding? I don't know, I said. You want to take that chance that they'll kill him? When she said kill, it felt like somebody kicked me in the stomach. No, I said, but what are we supposed to do? Nothing? Not even tell his parents? If we tell his parents, they'll tell the police. Telling his parents could be killing him. Another kick to my stomach. So we do nothing? Cameron added. They said they'd let him go in 2 days. Why should we believe them? I said. They said they'd let him go at the statue. Yeah, said Victor, but you told them you'd be alone. Another kick. I was going to need a new stomach. So, I said, we just sit around for 2 days hoping they're not lying? Maybe we can find them, said Susanna. We saw their car. A silver minivan, said Cameron. Probably only about 2 million of those in Washington. You have a better idea, said Susanna. He has an iPhone, right? Said Victor. We all looked at him. Find my iPhone, said Susanna. She looked at me. Does he have that? I don't know, I said. But even if he does, what if it's not turned on or the weird guys turned it off? We have to hope they didn't, said Susanna. I said, don't we need a password or something? We do, said Victor. You don't know the password, said Susanna. No, I said. Could you figure it out? I could try. All right, said Susanna. When we got back to the hotel, we work on that. I was starting to realize that Susanna was the kind of person who really liked having a plan. We finished eating, or in my case, watched Cameron eat my squirrel sandwich, and then we walked to our next thing, which was, surprise, a giant stone building. I wouldn't be surprised if the rotation of the earth got messed up from all this stone being dug up somewhere else and moved to Washington. This particular giant stone building was the National Archives, which is where they have the Declaration of Independence, the Constitution, and a bunch of other historic important things. I'm sure it's great as far as archives go, but I don't really remember anything about it because the whole time I was thinking about Matt. I kept wondering whether he was okay and what I should be doing and what I'd want people to be doing for me if the weird guys took me instead of him. We finally got out of the archives and walked back to the bus. Mr. Bartow did another head count, but Susanna tricked him using exactly the same trick she did the first time, making her eyes big and pretending she couldn't work her window. Girls have this power. To be honest, it's a little scary. Once the bus was going, Victor mentioned for me, Cameron, and Susanna to talk with him, so we all leaned in. Okay, he said. My dad called me when we were in the National Archives. I sent him a picture of that thing, and he... What thing? Said Cameron, still filling in for Matt in the role of idiot. The electronic box those guys were after, said Victor. Oh, said Cameron. What'd your father say, said Susanna. First of all, he wanted to know where I saw it. He really wanted to know where I saw it. What'd you say, I said. I lied. I said it was a picture I saw on the internet, and I wondered if he knew what it was. And he did right away. So what is it, I said. It's a jammer. It uses a laser to jam laser-guided missiles so they miss their targets. My dad says it's super high-tech and restricted, and only the U.S. military is supposed to have it. They use it over in Afghanistan and around there. Those guys aren't U.S. military, I said. No, said Susanna. Why would they want to jam missiles, said Cameron. My stomach turned over. I know why, I said. They all looked at me. Matt was right, I said. They're targeting the White House. That's why they were looking at aerial photos on the plane, and that's why they were hanging around the White House. But that doesn't make sense, said Susanna. The box doesn't shoot missiles, it jams missiles. How can it attack the White House? It can't, said Victor, seeing it now. But it can jam missiles coming from the White House. Why would missiles be coming from the White House, said Cameron. To defend it, said Victor. From what, said Cameron. From another missile, said Victor, or a plane, or whatever those guys are planning to attack it with. Oh, said Cameron. That is bad, I said. This is really, really bad. We have to tell somebody now. What about Matt, said Susanna. I pictured his face when he was in the weird guy's van, scared to death. I shook my head, trying to make the picture go away. Well, we have to do something. Okay, said Susanna. Here's what we do. We looked at her. I could tell that she, or at least part of her, was absolutely loving this. It almost made me mad, except I was glad that somebody had a plan. We have 2 days, she said. So we use them to try to find Matt and rescue him. If we can't, we have to tell the police, but we do everything we can to find Matt first. She looked around at the three of us. Everybody okay with that? We nodded. We had a plan. Rescue Matt in 2 days, or I didn't want to think about it.